Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? And you've seen by the title, I've just reached 8 years on YouTube. Would you believe that? 8 years on YouTube. And this is just a thank you, really, I'm just coming up on creeping slowly up since I don't get sponsored by YouTube anymore. I'm just creeping up on 14,000 subscribers, which is just completely baffling to me. I started this genuinely just as a little bit of a hobby, something to do to keep me occupied. And it's gone for 8 years now. Not many of my hobbies last that long, in truth. And I still enjoy it as much today, probably more today. In fact, definitely more today than when I started. And that's a good thing for a hobby, that you start off enjoying it and it just keeps getting better. And look, if it wasn't for subscribers, I'd be talking to myself. So obviously, you people that have been, a lot of you have been with me right from the beginning and gone through my journey, know the journey I've had. And I've got a lot of people who've been around 3, 4, 5 years, and then lovely new people. So it's always changing, and that's perfect as well. And for anybody out there, whether you've followed me in the past and you've unsubscribed or whatever, just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a hobby that is still giving me boundless enjoyment and fun. We have a podcast, the Paddy and Pals podcast, which is, for me, just going from strength to strength. We have an audience that keeps coming back every week, which I just amazes me, and we keep getting the odd new one. It's amazing. Amazing. I've got 2 friends who I can share my hobby with, but then the 3 of us can share our hobby because we talk just like we talk to each other when we're sitting on the video chats that we do between each other. It's just phenomenal. And my collecting is still in the same vein as when I came round, and after a couple of years, it's very much still in that same vein. I love all sorts of knives, but from the beginning, in the first lot of years, I was more into locking knives, modern knives, because I hadn't had them in my life before, because I live in the UK. And when I found out there was retailers that you could buy online locking knives, it blew my mind and opened my world, if you know what I mean. And AliExpress, well, it wasn't AliExpress, what was it? GearBest and that sort of thing that I got from. I just loved the collecting, the talking, the using, the sharing, the joys and the hard times that you get with YouTube. But on the whole, completely amazing experience, and I like to thank YouTube for that as well. They give me the platform, which I wouldn't have, to share this hobby with other people. I've met wonderful people along the way. But my hobby, my collecting, hasn't really changed. It has changed in the fact that I collect different things now than when I started. I'm nearly devoted completely to slip joints. One, because locking knives were wonderful and I ended up having hundreds of them, and I can't take them outside. Well, I can't have one to break the law and chance my arm, but that really isn't what I'm about. Do you know what I mean? So I now have a good collection of slip joints, and I enjoy collecting them because I can do the one thing that I started with. I can buy cheap ones, I can buy middle of the road price ones, and I can buy high end ones every now and then. I usually trade for higher end ones because I don't like spending that much money. There we go. There's one of my early and first proper locking knives, and it's the 940. It was given to me by Jeff Jewell. This blew my mind, and Jeff's generosity blew my mind on numerous occasions. And I've had lots of other people along the way, and I don't want to start naming names because it just gets embarrassing because I forget half them. But this 940 still to this day is one of my favourite knives in my collection. I just love everything about this knife. In hand, in use, as a work knife, it is unsurpassed still to this day. 20 odd years later on from its inception, it's still a wonderful, wonderful knife. For me, I just think it's fabulous. Everything I ever wanted in a locking knife. And I still use and love this every bit as much. But the rest of it's usually slip joints. And I have a couple of high-end. I've got Chris Reeve I managed to get last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. I got the Chris Reeve 31 in Magna Cut, small. And I adore that knife. It's one of the best knives in my collection. But most of it again, and I've done a wee Barlow video the other week, so I decided this time, because this is my carry today. This is my carry, which is an Andy Brock, made in England, a beautiful Barlow, stainless steel, liners, bolster, beautifully hand-jigged bone, absolutely stunning. And the way they have done that is just amazing. Beautiful fit and finish. Now, he's a custom maker, Andy, but his prices are incredibly reasonable. Incredibly reasonable. You know, for just over £200, you can get a lovely knife from him like this. I mean, it's just, I got this at Sharp Show last year. One of the best pieces in my collection. I just love it. And it's in, what is it in? Is it AEBL or RWL 34, something like that. I think it's RWL 34, not sure, something like that. Again, steel has never been my thing. I'm not a steel snob, or as long as it cuts, I really don't care. This is my carry today, so I'm really enjoying this today. There's a nice close-up picture on Instagram if you want to go and have a look there. But I collect from, you know, this is a high-end knife. I would call a high-end knife, to your basic 30-odd pound Arthur Wright. This is my user. I absolutely adore this Barlow. I just think it's fantastic. A very basic steel, C70 steel. It's just really, really basic, but perfect for a user. It's so easy to resharpen it, restrop it. If it goes slightly dull, stick it on a strop. Even on the leg of your pants, you can get a reaction of this blade. And the carbon is, it's C70. It's just amazing. So nice to use. And you can see it has been used. This one has, you know, it's done the odd little job over hot things, but not many yet. I mean, it's one of them knives I use constantly, just every day around the house. Loving it. So that's from 30-odd pound up to this one is probably just over £200 if you wanted to buy that one. But then I've got everything in between. This is the Rosecraft, I'm sponsored by Rosecraft. This is their latest Barlow. It's just a newer version of an older model. And they've got this beautiful Bora blue bone, dyed blue bone, which is sumptuous. It is stunning. Really, really love it. These are available on Heine Haynes in the blue and the stag. Go over and check them before they go, because, I mean, they sold out in America in a couple of days, I think, when they first came out. So we're lucky there's still a few over here. They were late getting over here, which is why there's still some left, but don't miss out. I mean, for 60-odd quid, this is just a absolute beast in D2. Beautiful knife. Just beautiful. Here's another Rough Rider. Did I have a Rough Rider yet? No, I don't think I've shown it. This one is in the Rough Rider carbon steel. It's something 10, C10 or something like that. It's just a very basic carbon steel again, but again, it just strops back so easily. When it goes slightly dull, give it a quick strop and you're back to full sharpness. Just a super, super knife. This is probably one of the best buys I bought this year. And if truth be told, now it's been out a long while, I just never had it. I love the single bone. I love the fact that it doesn't have the big R. Cinnamon stag. Just perfect. This is a perfect EDC knife. Perfect. And then I go on to things like Shatton Morgan's. This is a beautiful Shatton Morgan I have. This one has the silver cornerstone, solid silver. And it was one of, God, I can't read that. It was one of 600. But again, lovely jigging. Just beautiful, hand jigged. I just think this is just amazing. Just a beautiful knife. It's a two-bladed Barlow. Stunning big clip on them. Most of my Barlows has clipped because that's like today, that's the ones I tend to go for because they do everything. But if it's not going to be a clip, it's going to be a spear. And here's an Arthur Wright spear point. Nice slim spear. Not too slim, but it's slim spear on the stag. This is a cheaper version of stag that you're going to get in an Ashley, for instance. But it's nonetheless, I think it's beautiful. I think it is just beautiful. Great in the hand, bulbous end. You really get that. Your little finger just gets such a grip. It's just, for doing any sort of work, that little finger, I just love it when it's got a good grip. And finally, here's a Russell Barlow. I don't know whether there's anything on that says when it was from. No, this is just Green River Works. Absolutely beautiful, and it was made in Solingen, Germany. I believe Boker made it because it is just a Boker standard. The bone is just gorgeous, gorgeous. And again, it's got stainless steel covers, but it's got the brass liners in that, which I do like as well. So they're the knives that I threw down in front of me just for something to sit and you have a look at while I waffle on. And the waffle is such a huge thank you. And you'll see the two slips up here. We're actually having the podcast, myself and my two mates in the podcast, we're having a knife made for the channel, for the podcast. And you can see these beautiful designs. These are made by Griff at MJ Hoods. And look at them slips. They are just gorgeous. He's made 3, and I think he's got some other designs in the process as well. But I just love them. So if you've bought one of our knives, I hope you get one of the slips and enjoy it as much as I'm already. Really enjoying them, I have to say. Great slips. And to get a knife made, it's probably most YouTubers' dream is to get their own knife. And I'm getting one done. And I can't tell you the excitement. It's hopefully only going to be a month and you're going to get them in your hands. And I can't wait for you to get them. We have our own stamp on them. They're not going to be etched or anything. It's going to be stamped. Paddy and Pals. And it's going to be, the stamp is going to be like that. It's just, I cannot wait. Cannot wait for you to see them. Green liners. We're really going the old Paddy green. And I just, it's like a dream come true for me. At 66 now, I'm achieving dreams that I never thought possible. And that is exciting. That's what has kept me in this hobby because it's always moving. You don't have to stay still. You can move. You can go back and forth between slip joints, locket knives, any friction folders, whatever. And I've done them all and I've got them all. Not all, but I've got a selection of everything in my collection, which is, as a YouTuber, you tend to have a good selection of everything so that you can partake. We used to do an awful lot of open tags. Doesn't happen so much now. Although the Barlow one went quite well the other week. I enjoyed that, and that's why I thought I'd throw some more out. This is not all of them either. I have a good collection, 30 odd Barlows. That I enjoy, and it keeps changing, it keeps evolving. I'll trade and swap. I love that. I don't have to have everything that I get for life. I don't mind moving something on if it's going to help me get something else that I find exciting and I like using. But I do use my customs as well. Like this is my custom. This has got the most beautiful hand rub satin finish. You can see there's scratches and bits on it now. From where I use it, and enjoy using it because these are meant to be used. I don't believe a maker, especially a custom maker, makes a knife and hopes it's going to lie on a shelf. So that's what I do. That's my choice. Not everybody has that feeling about custom knives or expensive knives. I just feel as if I want to use them because that's why I'm buying them, because they're beautiful knives and I just want to feel that. But it's great. YouTube has an opening for anybody collectors who just want to put them in a shelf or a glass case. Fair play to you. I love looking at them and I love you showing them to me. Perfect. I only clean mine on special occasions. It's terrible. I don't leave them go dirty, but you know what I mean? I only highly polish them once in a blue moon because I'm going to use them. And one day of using a highly polished knife is all it gets. And then you have to redo it again. I'm too lazy for that. And Sharpening used to be a big thing. I went through all the different stones, proper stones, the more expensive stones. Jeff Jewell again helped out. Amazing man. And I enjoyed doing that. But this last couple of years, I've got bone idle. I mean, I'd really rather just put a 600-degree edge on something and give it a strop, and that's adequate completely for anything I'm going to do. Absolutely adequate. Because, again, you can put all these mirror's edge on, then you stick it in your dinner and it's gone. It's just gone. So for me, it's not practical. But I still I freehand nearly everything now. There's very rarely I go to, I don't even think I have a proper fixed system anymore. I got rid of my last one. So basically, because there's not very many that I know that do pen knives well. I haven't come across one yet. If any companies out there that makes a knife that you can use a fixed angle sharpener on pen blades, please hit me up, because it would be nice to have one, I suppose. It'd be nice to try it anyway and let people see what it's like. I just throw it on a quick sharpening system and that's it. Very basic, usually 600, a stop, and just put it out. So again, there's things that have changed from my beginning, getting into sharpening, then going through the higher graded stones. And I've still got the stones. I would never get rid of the stones. They're just beautiful. And every now and then I'll get them out and I'll use them. But on the whole, I'm very lazy now. I just don't tend to. But yes, a huge thank you to everybody that's followed along. I mean, I don't think my collection's changed. I just think what I collect has changed. I always wanted to have more expensive knives, but would never have spent the money. Now, as I'm getting a bit older, I've got retired, got my pension, don't have a lot of outgoings. Things have changed, so I can afford a wee bit extra. But this year I'm going to spend that all on going camping with knife buddies, with going over to Sharp Show again, going over to do filming in Arthur Wright's next month. This month, the 24th of this month, we're going over to spend a day at Arthur Wright's, show you around. And this is a really old working environment. Please do not think you got into this medically clean. This is a very old working establishment that still does things that they were done 100 years ago. So I think you're going to enjoy that part of it, and seeing in the back rooms the storage where they store their stag and their wood, and we're going to go through everything in the building and see how they make the knives, follow them along for a day. I can't tell you, it has me buzzing. I'm so excited. And then my two friends, which is Mikey and Justin, I can't thank you enough. You've made my podcast. I mean, I've done podcasts and I've done live videos all the way through, off and on, but this is the first time the three of us together just enjoy it so much. And again, if you weren't coming in and you weren't making comments, it's not huge. We get about an average 300 odd, 3 to 350 every month that come along and watch a podcast. That's a long thing to watch, because we usually go for about an hour and a half, and not everybody stays an hour and a half, but it's just great to have people that come back every week and join in. And it's usually a bit of a rake, a bit of crack. It's fantastic. Please join into it. And for those of you who watch my videos, and to the podcasters, if you're not subscribed, please, because it really helps me get out there. Because I don't get put on the good feeds because I'm not paying them money, which is fair enough. I accept that. And I knew that when I stopped doing it, that would happen. It doesn't bother me. But I would still love new subscribers to keep coming back to the channel and give it a go for a few weeks. See what you think of it. If you don't like it, go on somewhere else. That's absolutely perfect. I mean, don't stay somewhere you don't want to be, but you're wanted when you come here. Let me tell you, every one of you is valuable, because I get plenty in this end, and then YouTube take them off the back end. The people who maybe don't comment or do something for a couple of years, then I lose them. Anything else? Just to tell you, keep coming back this year. We've got a fantastic year planned, from camping trips to videoing to Sharp Show. We've got plenty, and we're going to be doing proper broadcasts at these on the podcast and on the channel as well. I'm hoping the one at Arthur Wright's is probably going to be a 3-parter. So, we'll spread them out as Justin gets them done. He's the videographer. Well, he's the boy that does all the technical stuff. We'll take the videos, give them to him. He puts them together, takes out the rubbish. So as he's doing it, we'll just release it bit by bit. There should be plenty of coverage at that workshop. What else we got to look for? Yeah, at the end of March, hopefully the new knives will be out. Everything's going according to plan, awfully well at the minute. What to do? Yep, I think that's it. And as for the knives, we're going to be doing a batch 3 times a year. And we're going to keep going as long as you want them. We'll keep going. And we're going to go through nearly every pattern that Arthur Wright do, and some older ones. I'm hoping next year Michael's quite keen to maybe doing some older patterns and bringing them back in. Get in now, start the collection of them, because you're going to have a fantastic, over a period of maybe 3 years, you're going to get 9 complete different knives, none of the same. They'll all be different. We'll try and use as many handle materials as possible. So get in on that and let's be part of it. And you just join the podcast and you're right up to date, because we talk about it every week for some period of time. I'm gone, I'm waffling, but I'm so thankful to all of you out there that have made this possible for me and give me an amazing hobby to keep on enjoying in my latter years. Take care. Paddy's away. Bye now.